Hello and welcome to Lesson 5 of Intermediate Programming with Scratch. Now we're going to go over our final little sprite here that we haven't quite gone over yet with our whirl and our spiral, little interactive art piece that demonstrates our internal variables and our parallel processing and our broadcasting. So this one's a little simpler than the other. One thing we did do on this one is, remember we added this little memo. And how I did that is I just right-clicked in here and I added comment. Now you can also, if you have kind of a messy workspace, you can clean it up and it'll line everything up for you. And that's what that cleanup does when you right-click in here. But that's how I added that comment also. It says a parallel process to rotate the sprite. Now, what this is doing is it's doing its two little processes here. One is it's forever gliding, and it's taking 3 seconds to go to my X and Y mouse positions. So if you look, let's clear this first and start. And this sprite right here moving around. Now, it's taking 3 seconds to get to where my mouse is. And then it's going to stop. So now he's stopped. Just going to sit there and whirl and change colors until I move again. Now he's going to recognize I moved, and it's a little bit offset because it's taking 3 seconds. Remember, now I can stop and clear this. Now remember, if I change this to like 0.5 seconds, it's going to move much faster. So let's start it. See, he's really getting across there now because I changed that number. And the further I go, the further it has to travel, the faster it moves. So that's how you can also kind of experiment with your little interactive art piece. You can change these numbers and tinker with them to really get some stuff you like. And so let's go ahead and stop this here. And let's clear it. Let's look at this other thing here. Okay, the other thing it's doing, it's forever stamping itself. You notice as it crossed over to where my mouse was, it was stamping itself and it was rotating. See that rotate 5 degrees? And so that's making it rotate a little bit slower. So if I change that let's change it to 10. And then let's start it and see what happens. See, he's rotating a little bit faster now. See how it's rotating faster? Rotating faster now. You can experiment with that number too. Stop it. Let's change that back to 5. I kind of like it rotating smaller. Kind of like a little hurricane there crossing the screen, leaving impressions of itself. And this is changing the color effect. And I did this through looks. And I went here and changed the color effect. And this is all of your image effects. You'll notice when you click in here, you have things like fisheye and whirl and pixelate and mosaic and brightness. So there's all kinds of effects you can do with the image. And with the image, all I'm doing is I'm changing the color. And I'm changing the effect by 25, so it's kind of going through the colors of the rainbow by increments. And so that is your little move whirl. And let's give it one last view. Let's clear, start. There we go. He's moving around. So we've got our little whirler guy, and we've got our other little sprite, the spiral that's going on. So what we need to do now, y'all are going to go ahead and create this project, tinker with these numbers. Remember, you'll get it through your Scriptastic, and you'll get your Scriptastic link through Scriptastic, and you'll see at the bottom of your lessons the link to the Scriptastic, so you can get your account through Scratch, and you can paste in the link and share it on your blog. And so that are your first 5 lessons. The next series of lessons, the next 5, we're going to get into these other data structures. Now that we've covered kind of the variables and these built-in variables especially, this variable here, but mostly used internal variables with the mouse and the loudness. We're going to get into lists, and lists are a kind of variable. It's a simple data structure, and we're really going to get into that. And I'll show you some really cool stuff we can do with lists, some more advanced things we can do with lists.